Hey guys, Blonde Asino or Toxic Cancer here, and today, as you guys can see already, right here, we have some more maintenance notes coming out. Alright, so thanks to Astalot once again for translating these. I think they're actually on the English Facebook already though, but regardless, Astalot does a great job every time there's an update. So let's just go through them, starting from the top. So obviously, the maintenance is going to be on March 30th at 7 o'clock a.m. UTC. All right. Probably about 2 hours. That's not that important. Starting right here. All right. New Astromons, 5-star Balrona, 4-star Thor, and the new capture event monster, from what I understand, is Panolo, a light 2-star and a wood 3-star one, with also light and dark monkey keys, which everyone is assuming are the rebirth monsters for this month. Alright, we can go now. We see that the Heroes Festival, Barona can be obtained by the Heroes Festival now. Before I go any further with this, I think I actually want to talk about, since I have over here, as you guys can see, I have the Barona stats and skills and the Thor stats and skills. So I'm just going to go through them and give my opinions on those before we progress any further between this. Alright, so Fire Barona looks to be balanced. It has actually a decent attack, and it has pretty decent stats, especially for a balanced unit. 3-star passive is going to be HP Siphon, which I believe is the, what's it called? Based on how much damage it does, it will heal for a certain amount. And the 5-star passive is Elemental Edge, so I mean, Fire Barona is it's looking okay, but it's nothing special, to be honest. It's just kind of like, I mean, it'll be an alright unit for things like golems, titans, PvP even. It could be a decent unit, but I don't think it's really going to excel anywhere. Definitely usable if you get him, though. Next one is going to be Water Barona, which is an attacker. Looks to have some pretty solid stats. I think that attack is comparable to Wood Valkyrie, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit low on the... Actually, it has decently tanky stats as well, except for the HP is a little tiny bit low. Regardless, though, has Courageous Strike on the 3-star, and 5-star is Defense down for 2 turns, so this is a solely Titans monster. I'm not sure how well Courageous Strike on a 3-star passive scales compared to the 5-star passive. If it scales the same, then this monster is really, really good. But if it doesn't scale the same, which I assume it will actually scale less, then I feel like it's going to be a little bit more underwhelming. Which that's not to say it's not good. It's still going to be a very good Titans monster. It's just not going to be like as hype as everyone is thinking that it will be, I guess. Moving on, we have Wood Balrona, who's a defender. Looks to have be really, really tanky, though it's lacking on the attack stat quite a bit. It's pretty much like a Water Arthur, 100% to recover 50% of SP bar, and then 60% chance to seal for 2 turns. So it's a Water Arthur, but instead of an attack down, it's a seal. I mean, it's alright for PvP defense, I guess. It's not going to be game-changing or anything like that. It's just kind of, another monster. Pretty much going to serve the same purpose as Water Arthur, just to be like a little bit of a interceptor, I guess I would call it. Alright, moving on. Light Balrona. Light Balrona is going to be a balanced unit. Again, it has a little bit less on the attacking side, but more tanky than the Fire Balrona. And it has a 100% shock for 1 turn and an Elemental Edge. I do really like this unit. I think it's pretty good because it's balanced, especially. That means the 100% shock is going to be really nice for PvP. Obviously, it's not going to be used very much anywhere else besides PvP, since in PvE you can't really shock like bosses or anything like that, so not useful on that front. But in PvP, it's looking to be decently strong, I think. So I think you might want to actually watch out for Light Balrona. If you get him, that'll be great. Lastly, Dark Balrona. I really, really like this unit, actually. It's a tank. And 3-star passive is like a light Persephone 3-star, where it just restores 20% of all your allies' SP bars. 5-star is like a Water Nightmare, which means that it's gonna restore up to 40% of the own HP if it hits 4 enemy units, which is really sick since it's a tank with 48k base HP. Like, this unit is actually ridiculous for PvP. If you can get this guy if you can get this guy as like to an Evo 3 form, he's actually going to be super, super strong. Like, I feel like he could be like, he might be the new best PvP monster. Right now it's probably Dark Odin. Variant Dark Odin is probably the best. I feel like he could easily take over that slot, though, especially since he's dark type and not light type. Because, you know, most people usually attack with, like, a lot of dark attackers, which means if you have, like, a light Persephone, then they can just kill it really quickly. But for Dark Balrona, they don't have that elemental advantage, which means it's, like, it's even that much better of a unit. Oh, wait, right here it says they changed Wood Balrona's 3-star from 20 to 50 and from 70 to 60. Okay, so it was changed, but I think the one that I read out was the normal one. So anyways, I think that, like, light and dark are pretty decent. Other than that, I mean, fire is okay, but I really don't like the water that much. I mean, water is okay, but wood doesn't seem very good. But if you do get a light and dark, that's very, very nice for you. All right, moving on to Thor. We have Thor is obviously the Nat 4 that you can get from the Rebirth Festival, which we will talk about in a bit. Fire Thor is a defender. Seems to have, like, okay stats, nothing special. 70% defense down for 2 turns and 50% defense down for 2 turns. I mean, those are some decent skills. It's reminiscent of Wood Loki in a bit. Yeah, it's really reminiscent of Wood Loki, actually. Except on a fire, there's not actually that many fire debuffers that I can recall very well. So, I mean, it'll be very good for, like, B9 and stuff like that. For B9, if you're struggling with that, or even, like, I think 8 dragons, it could be pretty good for that. Next up is Water Thor, which is an attacker. 100% to restore 20. Actually, I mean, this thing doesn't have that great of stats, to be honest, but 100% chance to restore 20% of SP. And attack increased by 30%. I mean, honestly, this thing is nothing too special. 3-star passive is just really underwhelming. The 5-star passive is, like, very, like, underwhelming as well. So I'd say that, like, this thing isn't really, like, that worth it at all. Wood Thor, though, 3-star passive is Courageous Strike, and on hit is a 100% blind. This thing is interesting for Titans. I think this thing... Whew. Oh my gosh, okay. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Alright, I think the Wood Thor, it has very, very high potential for Titans because it is balance type, number 1. Number 2, its 5-star passive is actually very, very good for certain Titans. Now, one thing to note is that, honestly, Water and Wood Titan, where this thing would be most useful, I guess, or where would it be most, like, a lot of people would want to use it, they don't really crit that much, and their crits, they don't do that much damage to begin with. So the blind, and that, by the way, it's not slow, it's blind. It's the same thing as Medusa, I'm pretty sure. Because I think that's how it turns out in the direct translation. The blind isn't going to be as useful against Water and Wood Titans, which is something to keep in mind. So you're mostly going to want to use this guy against Light and Dark Titans. But the Courageous Strike is really nice. I do think that this thing has a lot of potential as well. Obviously, we'll have to see how it plays out with the 3-star passive scaling, but it should be interesting. Light Thor, 60% for a 2-turn shock. You guys all know how I feel about Light Cura. Fuck Light Cura. And 60% chance for a 2-turn defense down. This thing's pretty good for PvP. This thing will be very good for PvP, actually, Light Thor. Jesus. It's going to be, like... It is a tank, so, like, that means it just super, like, utility-wise. Although its base attack is super low, so it's not going to do any damage, so it's going to be pure utility. So slapping an attack gem on it isn't really even an option. Which means if they can actually isolate it in PvP, then it's not going to be as useful. But still, 60% shock for 2 turns. You guys all know how I feel about that. It's really insane. Lastly, Dark Thor is an attacker. So you're going to build this guy 100 crit because obviously look at his abilities. His attack is actually a little bit below average, which is interesting. But on crit, defense down for 2 turns. All right, on crit, Courageous Strike. All right, so this thing's like a Titans monster, pretty much. Like that, his abilities are like both just ridiculous for Titans, which is again interesting to see. All right, wait, they changed Light Thor's 3-star from 80%. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought I had read earlier. That's what I thought I had read earlier. Anyways, what's it called? We're gonna go back to the maintenance now. So now that we know all the Thors and Balrona's skills, I didn't really want to make another video just about those, so just thought I'd slap them in there right now. Look at that. We have the Heroes Festival where Balrona can be attained, and we have the limited Rebirth Festival, which is gonna be where how Thor can be obtained. Now, one thing that they're not really like super clear at here. Well, let's just go through this whole thing really quickly. So that's gonna go for only 1 weekend. Wait, it's only 1 weekend? Holy crap, I didn't actually know that it was only one weekend. Alright, so I actually have to start farming now. I'll go on with that later, but pretty much every Nat 5 is has a rate up in the special shop, which is ridiculous. And if you summon a 5-star Astromon, you get a heroic egg, which is pretty much, if you don't know, it's 1 million gold for another 5-star, and it's a random 5-star Astromon. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. For the Heroes event, for the Heroes Festival, it says Balrona can be obtained from the Heroes Festival. Does that mean that the only way you're ever going to be able to get a Balrona is from this Heroes Rebirth Festival, like he's only available for 3 days? Or does that mean that, like that's confusing me a lot. Same thing for Thor. Is Thor only obtained by the Rebirth Festival? Or can he be obtained, like, more? Which is very, like, interesting to me, because if they only made it 3 days, that really wouldn't make very much sense to me. I think this is just, like, a more guaranteed way, but if they're saying it can be obtained from the Heroes Festival, does that mean that this one heroic secret egg is 100% going to be a Balrona? That's what I'm interested in, and I don't have a valid answer. My only answer would be I hope not, because I really would rather not have a Balrona, because I'd rather have like an Arthur so I can Evo 3 my Fire Arthur, obviously, but that's something to look out for. And while I don't have a definitive answer, obviously we're going to see in the coming days, I think like 2 days or whatever. But yeah. So that's definitely something to look out for. I would definitely use all your Astro, not all of them obviously, but use your Astro Gems during this event, because if you're planning on summoning, this is the time to summon. Because if you guys don't know, I'm like 99% sure on this. Usually, for example, now that there was a Garuda chance up, it's not like you have more of a chance of getting a Nat 5. It's that you have the same amount of chance of getting a Nat 5, but it has more of a percent chance to be a Garuda. That's what most of the events are like. But in this case, they're actually just increasing the chance to get a Nat 5, which is much, much better than just increasing the chance to get a certain Nat 5. So if you're ever going to summon, I would definitely summon now. If you're ever planning to go pay to win, this is the time to go pay to win, I guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting how the event pans out, as they don't really give insane amounts of information. But I'll probably, if you have any spare Nat 4s, I guess since this isn't in here, the Rebirth Festivals, it's like a Rebirth, but you use Nat 4s instead of Nat 3s. You can use 3 Nat 4s to make a random Thor. Not sure if there's going to be Light Dark in this as well. If there is, that'd be pretty cool, actually. But yeah, so basically, it's going to be really interesting how the festivals pan out. I think it should actually be pretty good. I'm actually debating using some Bolt Wings on them, because I already have an Evo 3 Bolt Wing, and I have like an extra Evo 2 and 4 extra Evo 1s. So we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but maybe I'll make a summoning video then, because I have to actually farm a bunch of Astro Gems for this event and whatever. I have like 3 million gold I'm farming into Astro Gems, so, that's going to take a while. Regardless, though, I guess that's all in the Heroes Festival. Obviously, it only lasts till the Sunday. And yeah, we already established that. Next thing is the Capture event, which I will talk about over here, and there's also Fusion events. But we're going to talk about Pinelo after we talk about the rest of the updates, since I think the Pinelo update is all in this Facebook post right here. Yeah, Garuda's ended. There we go. Tower of Chaos has changed. The rewards are changed. So basically, I remember people talking about saying that they're going to make Tower of Chaos free. And I think this is what they were referring to. Look at this. All the rewards are changed from mid-fruits. Thank the Lord there's no more mid-fruits, by the way. And they're changed to, like, energy. And I think this energy is enough to get you through the whole entire Tower of Chaos without spending any actual energy. Which is a really cool update, but I kind of wish they had made it differently, so that you would, like, get still real rewards. Because this doesn't it honestly just doesn't feel like rewards at this point. You're getting, like, 400 Astro Gems, 10 Dragon Sigils, a Holy Gleam, and the, what's it called? 3 High Secret Eggs, and like 5 Star Fruits, and 100k gold. That's all you're getting that's once a month. Like, it really it still doesn't feel like rewards. It just feels like, okay, get as far as you can. If you can't do it, then like whatever. And I feel like they should make it really more rewarding for the players that can actually get all the way through it. Maybe even make it a little harder. I know, and for all you guys saying like, oh, I can't even beat level 35 and stuff. I do understand that it's very hard, but I think they should make it so that like many people can't beat it, but the rewards are actual rewards. Like maybe change this 20 energy to like, I don't know, like something like maybe even another holy gleam like less down. Maybe make it like 2 gleams per month or something like that. Dragons, there's not everyone can even do dragons. I guess if you can get that high though, you should be able to do some dragons. Maybe making like a legendary egg in here, like once a month, right? That wouldn't be the end of the world. I just think they need to make it more like rewards though, because right now it just feels like something that like you don't even have to do. It's not going to set you any far behind if you can't do it or anything like that. And I don't really like that portion of it. But basically, yeah, they just changed the reward. They took out the mid fruits. They took out the highlight dark egg too, which is something that like I actually liked per month. And they give like a 400 Astro J. I already said the rewards before. Anyways, last thing is all the light bonds, dark bonds, water bonds, Venuses, everything's over. So no more Venuses. Finally, that's over. And in exchange for that being over, you'd think that 433 would give us, some time to settle down, go farm some golems, get some Astro Gems, maybe like stock up on some Astro Gems for the upcoming like Heroes Festival so we can spend them all on 10+1s. But you thought wrong. Alright, here we go. New Pinelo special event notice. Alright. Now, there's actually something that Mogati said. I was watching this video earlier, and I can only pray to God this is the case. That this is all some stupid April Fool's thing, okay? Because, yeah, April Fool's is coming up. It's what, like 3 days away at this point? Please tell me this is one, because, oh my gosh. It's looking like this is going to be, if you guys don't remember, what's it called? If you guys don't remember the Jack-a-Littles, the Jack-Little thing, it's looking like that, because, here, I'll just read it out right now, and we'll see. The mischievous Pinelo, whose nose will become long when lying, is here. Let's meet this new Astromon. Do not miss your chance to catch him. So there's only one. So there's the type Light Pinelo. That's the only thing that's capturable. Lasts for 2 weeks. There will be some suspicious Pino after the capture. Truth or lie. So we'll go over that later. You can find out which one is truth or lie by looking at Pinelo's icon. Here, I actually will pull this up really quickly. So it looks like this one is looking like the lying one, and this one is the truthful one. I am assuming, because this one has like a little like thingy through its head. But we'll go back to this fusion thing later. Basically, yeah, it'll be the same rarity as a rare, so it's actually not that bad. I guess it's just free, like, Astromon Capture League points, which is pretty nice, in a way. Yep, and he can capture in all story mode stages, blah, blah, blah. Similar to rare Astromon, form an Evo 1. We can get more Astro Guide points and stuff like that. Hooray, hooray. Alright, now the fusion event is right here. I guess we'll go into it right now. You can fuse an Evo 1 Wood Pinelo with an Evo 2 Hermite, which many people are speculating now because of that is going to be the new rebirth, which does make sense to me. Making that the next rebirth does make sense to me, as they have been recycling stuff like the Pebble and stuff. And that, if you combine those two, you get an Evo 2 Wood Banshee, which I'm not sure if I'm going to make, because I kind of do want to just like, because I am one Evo 2 Banshee away from I think I'm only like 2 Evo 1s away from my next Evo 3 Banshee, but I don't even know if I want to do that. I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But one other thing to note is that the next thing is an Evo 2 Pinelo with an Evo 1 Wood Monkiki. That makes a Wood Pinelo, but you can only do each of these once. And also the next one where you fuse a Wood Miho with an Evo 2 Pinelo. This looks like the lying type. This looks... Wait, these both look like the honest ones. I think these are both the honest ones, because like this one has like these little eyebrow things. So you fuse an Evo 2 lying one with an Evo 1 lying one to make an Evo 1 Truth one. You can fuse an Evo 2 Truth one with an Evo 1 Wood Miho to make an Evo 1 Light Miho. And you do some shit with an Evo 2, this, oh my gosh. You can only make one Wood Pinelo, which means you can only make one, and you can only make one Banshee, which means you have to choose if you want to get the Astro Gems, because you can get the Astro Gems for making this into an Evo 3. Like, when I say the Astro Gems, I mean, like, I think you get, like, 20 for making an Evo 2 one from the Astro Guide, and 120 for making an Evo 3. Or you can get an Evo 2 Banshee. Obviously, it's up to your own discretion. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But yeah, so you're going to need those certain monsters to make each of those, and I'm assuming that the truth ones are going to be a lot harder to find than the lie ones, because if you guys remember with, like, the light Jack-a-little and the dark Jack-a-little. The dark ones were super hard to find. But yeah. Honestly, I do think if you're going to want to skip a capture event, I think this is the one to skip. Now, this is why. The only thing that you're getting out of this, now obviously we don't know its skills yet, but keep in mind, it is a Nat 2, I believe. Yeah, it's a 2-star, and the wood one is a 3-star. So unless we hear those skills and like the 3-star is like 100% defense down like a wood Getito, I really don't see the point in going for it, alright? Like, what's it called? Yeah, because it's only going to be a Nat 2 light, so unless the skills are absurdly good, then it's really not going to be worth going for it. So if you wanted to skip a capture event, I'd say skip this one. Unless you really want a light Miho, which, again, like, it's not really that great, so I wouldn't really, like, go for it all out. But yeah, there's no harm in skipping this one, to be honest. Especially since, like, all this fusion stuff is, like, only one-time stuff, so, like, you're not really going to fall that far behind if you don't get, like, an Evo 2 Wood Banshee, right? Or an Evo 1 Light Miho. You're not going to fall behind or anything. Anyways. What's it called? They say fusion recipe will change a new Oh. Light Pinelo will not appear... Oh, after the maintenance, it'll be changing into Dark Pinelo. Okay. And there'll be a new recipe. So I assume that still, it's not... I assume it's going to be the same exact thing, except those fusion monsters are going to be changed. That's what I assume. If we go back... Hold on, let me just go back. This one? Maybe? This is going to be bad if it's not. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. XD. Alright, this one. Yes, I assume that this is going to be something like along the lines of maybe like a Firewild thing or something. This is going to be like a... Maybe this is going to be another Wood Pinelo. This is going to be like a Dark Miho or something like that. Maybe even like a Dark Sea Star. Who knows? But I assume this is just going to change. And it's not really going to be anything like... I don't think you're going to need a light and dark Pinelos though. So don't worry about saving your light Pinelos. At least... I mean, and if you do need to save your light Pinelos, you guys can blame it all on me. You guys can send in a formal complaint to 433 and like have them like take Astrogems out of my account and give you guys some light Pinelos. Anyways. Alright. Final note. As you guys can tell, it's going to be hopefully the Hermite thing. Now here's a little trick that I would do. Farm story mode, okay? Farm story mode and make sure you have 50 friends that are farming story mode. You know why? You can actually, I'm assuming that you can use the Hermites that you get from the Guardian Dungeons to rebirth for a Thor. So if you want one of the Thors, I would say they're going to be super easy to get because what you're going to be able to do is just farm the Hermite Dungeons, and if you farm the Hermite Dungeons, you can rebirth them all into Thors, and like in one day, you honestly should be able to get around like 12 Hermites if you're farming hard. All you got to do is check in like every half an hour to see which of your friends have gotten a Guardian Dungeon. Just do like a 20 auto battle, and then after each auto battle, go check the Guardian Dungeons and stuff, and see which one of your friends have it. Just snake all of them and take all the Soul Stones for yourself. Anyways, guys. I know this was really, really long. There's a lot of information in this update. I'm not sure if they've done the PvP changes, which were mentioned earlier, but since it didn't say it, I'm assuming they're not implementing it yet. Although I could be wrong. I'm not going to talk about that right now, though. I'm done with this stuff for now. Alright, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm really looking forward to this update, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.